Stellar. I'm so excited for today's message. The vision I was getting was your guides literally escorting you into this new phase in your life, almost like a new chapter that you've been led to. It feels like everything's been leading you up to this moment. And the vision I was getting was a page being turned into a turned in a book, and it's almost as if you're in this new chapter, and it's the moment right before the main character figures out that they're the main character, but everyone else has kind of been sensing this essence within them. It feels like your guides have kind of been at the edge of their seat waiting for you to be able to discover and recover and uncover what has been existing within you all along. And you're being dropped up at this door, right? That's how you can see it. And your guides are like, okay, have fun, exploring. And it's not because you're being led to a point of danger, right? As you make friends with the unknown in this next phase of your life, in this next season. That's what it feels like, season, because it's a releasing to receive something, but you're being led actually into one of your greatest destined selection of timelines that's readily available for you. It's where you're not just choosing an option, but you're collapsing quantum possibilities across all dimensions and all timelines. So you're literally a quantum surfer of realities. It feels like that game. What's that game where it says, I think it's like the Subway Surfer energy? That's what it feels like. The way that you're going to be maneuvering and navigating these next series of events, and I'm also seeing sequence of events as well, so you could be seeing things come into your reality maybe in threes or more, but it feels like there's things that you're going to be collecting, okay, in this cycle. But yeah, it's almost like a, all right, love, we've brought you as far as we can, you're ready now, everything's been again shaping you or leading you to this moment. I had a hair on my face, it was annoying me. So yeah, you're ready now. You're being given permission to really begin to explore. It's where you're meeting a version of yourself that has always been within you and is finally getting to come to the surface. Again, you're a diamond with many facets, not just one. And it feels like this is a new dimension that's being brought up to the surface. Before we open up with this reading, I'm super excited to share with you guys the new Otter Spirit collection. We're going to do a little unboxing video. And this isn't any bracelets, it's not any necklaces, it's not any earrings, it's not rings, it's something completely new. Okay, are you ready to see what it is? 3, 2, 1. It's a sphere. Look at that beauty. This is actually, it's almost like a crystal ball. It's an egg kind of sphere. And this one is the clear quartz. They also have a lot of other options for you to be able to choose from. Look at that beautiful rainbow hue. This is what I love. Again, crystals have that lattice, they have that prism inside. So light moves and it refracts a very specific way, which is why I'm in love with this particular crystal. The chakras that it rules are all of them. It's universal. The zodiacs that it embodies is all 12 zodiacs, right? Which are the very specific archetypes that govern, our universe in this, matrix in this system. And the quote is that I'm surrounded by boundless energy. So it's a timeless sphere. Super beautiful. You already know I'm going to be bringing this everywhere with me. It's definitely that kind of, portable energy I'm super excited to bring with me to some of these ancient sites. And the intention for it is working with the intuition as well, at least this one. But you have lapis lazuli, you have amethyst, you have moonstone, you have a bunch of different options that you can work with, but it's a brand new collection from Otter Spirit. You have 2 discount codes in the description box of this video if you are interested or if you feel called to any kind of crystal balls. It's a great gift giving season as well in which we're in. But yeah, super excited. So thank you so much, Otter Spirit, for this co-creation with Hukuahana. We deeply appreciate it. And let's get back to the message. So yeah, there's this almost essence of cosmic humor to it, if you will, where it's the loving parents that are dropping their child off to the first day of school, and they're about to meet so many new people. They're about to learn so many, subjects and topics that they wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. It just feels like, again, you're being dropped off into the doorway of an ecosystem filled with people, opportunities, and alignments that are assisting you at this stage of your evolution journey. So it's knowing that the child is almost graduating into adulthood, it's graduating into, really being able to integrate everything that they've learned thus far. And there's something that in which you're going to be mastering in this new cycle as well. So yeah, your guides aren't hovering, they're not following you inside, because this new chapter is the one where you really step into being in charge. You're the one with authority now, you're the one that's writing the script. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a Cosmos Oracle message to begin. Guys, I'm reunited with so many of my decks I left in London at the moment, so I'm super excited to kind of get my hands into something that is old but is feeling new again. And that's how it feels like you're relating to your life on Earth. It's almost like you've had so much experience, but you're seeing it with new eyes. That's what it feels like. But yeah, it's this universal, almost like go play, level where you're going to create, you're going to express, and you're going to discover what has already been waiting behind that door. Okay. We have gravitational acceleration, one of my favorite many cards. So gravitational acceleration basically talks about you honing in to, a very particular goal that you've had in mind. It's where you're focusing on some kind of target. So there's something around something that you could be really wanting to experience, almost like this is exactly what I want to learn, or this is exactly what I want to do with what it is that I've learned. This is whom I want to meet, or this is like a vibrational essence of what I want to be immersed in, or what I want to surround myself with. So let me go ahead and read this. It feels like there is something that you definitely have your mind on. It could be some type of goal, and you're moving with that clarity and not confusion in regards to what you actually want to experience when it comes to your life on Earth. So, gravitational attraction is the force which makes an object move towards the core of a celestial body, dispensing with possible atmospheric resistance and constantly increasing its speed, clear direction, and force of action. The previous speed of the process changes its rhythm and accelerates towards a defined target. So, again, this is an extremely precise trajectory that you're heading in. Okay. So nothing is by, coincidence, if you want to call it like that. Coincidence is just things that are actually supposed to be like coinciding, so they're actually supposed to come into alignment. So the available energy flow gains momentum, strength, and determination, and that's you. As you flow into this next chapter of your life, there's something that you're moving with this sense of direction towards, and it's the energetic equivalent of you've learned what it is that you needed, and now the world is yours. So have fun. It definitely reminds you of, okay, the world is your oyster. So that's gravitational acceleration. It's the moment where you step through the door and it closes behind you, and there's like the echo of that, slamming shut, that's kind of lingering in this hallway that you're about to walk down, and it feels like a hallway of quantum possibilities. Each encoded as a wave of possibility, and you're deciding which one you want to collapse into your reality. It's a moment where something is in your mind and you get to hold it in your hand, or maybe this imagination is a preview of life's upcomings. Like you're arriving somewhere in every possible sense, visually, energetically, even in a sensory kind of way before your arrival on the physical. That's what it feels like is going on right now, but there's some type of clear shift that's happened in your energy. Okay, let's see. I also want to let's get one of these messages, sure. But yeah, who are you becoming here? Show me. That's almost what this new reality is inviting you to really do. You're stepping into a timeline where the rules are new, right? The gravitational laws that once held or governed your internal universe when moving in a very particular way has shifted, So yeah, something is not just winding down, but there's something new that's winding up. It's a new dance of creation. So the energy is cleaner, the support you're receiving is, of a higher octave, and the possibilities are wider. And it's because you have this creative authority, right? You have creative authority, and your guides trust you in this new realm. Look at this. We have deceit even coming up reversed. So deceit card is where we can self-sabotage ourselves. With this coming up reverse, and we have angel of love, this is about you loving yourself through some type of change and not shaming yourself into some type of change, and they're not abandoning you. Your guides are celebrating you during this time as well. Okay, let me also take a look at one of these messages. But yeah, they're giving you space, right? You've outgrown the need to hold hands. Like, no one is going to assist you at this stage of your life like you will. all that glitters is also showing up reversed. So again, this is an essence that you are seeking, and it's where you're being given the space to explore freely. There's something that you're actually saying goodbye to. It's almost like you're being welcomed home to this next level. Let me go ahead and read all that glitters for you one real quick. The protection message. 16. I feel like this is also you realize that certain things can't come with you. Okay, maybe this is a tendency to self-sabotage. Maybe it's an inability to actually step into a season of receiving, right? So this is about going beyond the superficial. You know what this is? This is a calling that the soul has. It's a natural call for the soul's exploration that you're being called to answer. And this isn't going to be about a lack of calling, it's going to be about fear of answering the new. And this isn't actually fear of answering the new. I feel like this is fear of leaving behind the old. That's what it feels like, okay? And it's transforming, and you're changing, and you're becoming unrecognizable. So, this is a signal to walk away from something that you've been contemplating. I feel like this is also no longer trying to negotiate with that fearful aspect of yourself. You're going to have to act even in the presence of that fear, right? You're going to have to speak even if your voice shakes. You're going to have to do that thing because you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to become great at something. So there's a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation, and you'll be sorry you got yourself into it. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how spirit protects you? Better things await. The universe only has three answers: is either not right now, yes, or I have something better in store for you. And this feels like a redirection. It feels also like a rechanneling of your energy with gravitational acceleration that's clearly happening. Let me see. Let's get another Cosmos Oracle message around this. We have two. So we have geocentric model, which is about the wounded ego, and black body. Black body absorbs everything in its orbit, and geocentric model is about the wounded aspect of yourself that you can no longer negotiate with in this next chapter, in this next cycle. This could have been because of the eclipses that has activated something that you can't unsee. You know, it almost feels like something that has been unveiled to you around your life's direction, and there's just no going back to the way that things once were, because once your consciousness kind of gets a taste of something new, it can no longer return back to its old form, right? Once consciousness expands into new dimensions, new frequencies, where new stories get to play out that are in resonance with it, you can literally no longer go back to the way that things once were, because you outgrew something, right? Maybe it's about you outgrowing your comfort zone. Now when you go back into your comfort zone, there is a discomfort that surpasses the comfort you once had. So this is something that has been previously obstructing your view, maybe even the way that you see yourself, that you're kind of navigating. Maybe because you see yourself and your potential differently, you're also seeing the selection of timelines that are available for you differently, and also your accessibility to them. And this is where you're realizing where you could be getting in your own way, right? So this is literally the wounded ego, right? Let me go and read Black Body for you too with this, because it doesn't come out often, but the fact that they've come out together. So this is an imbalance between giving and receiving. So what have you had a wound around, right? Is the wound being about receiving everything that the universe has in store for you, right? So it absorbs all light and energy which hits it. Nothing can be reflected or can pass through this opaque body. This example is of the sun. So this can be an incomparable greater as the energy takes a random path, which is incessantly interrupted by the absorption and re-emission of photons. This feels like a spontaneous emission type of energy where there's a sudden transformation that's happening, the sudden transformation that maybe the ego in some way had been avoiding, because it requires you to make friends with the unknown. It almost requires you to leave behind everything that once gave you this false sense of comfort, but there is no more room to grow in your comfort zone. So this feels like a disruption of your comfort zone. And when we constantly disrupt our comfort zone, okay, with all that glitters, okay, something that could feel safe upon the surface, again this level of like superficiality, it's like that door closes behind you and again it slams shut, and there is echoes of the past, you know, there's almost like a symbolic see sealment, that's happening where, okay, there's really no going back. Okay, we have vanishing mirror, hence ego sublimation, and then we have skywriting the fates. This is super beautiful because vanishing mirror basically talks about um uh well, you're no longer recognizing yourself in the physical. Okay, this is about your belief systems have changed, the way that you think about yourself has changed, the way that you feel about yourself has changed, and there's a need to go through that, dissolving moment to return to what it is that you've always been, which is a highly abundant being. It's about you being able to shape your life and reshape yourself as many times as need be until, not only do you feel comfortable, but do you feel like you're in a season where you are truly thriving. And then you have skywriting the fates. So again, this is fated, and fate does come in and it intervenes when it feels like we're not as proactively working towards what our cosmic intentions were before this incarnation. And your advice card at the base is needing direction, which is about narrowing down your life into 24-hour compartments and simply just focusing on what it is that you need to do for the next 24 hours. And that is definitely going to help you navigate this new terrain, if you will. Let's go and take a look at 58. So, letting go of self centeredness and becoming a vessel of possibility. This is no longer marking your life in the zones of safe versus unsafe. This here is okay, but that over there, that's too risky. That judgment, fear, or self righteousness or overconfidence are only some traits that keep you from evolving. The message is very, very clear today. Do you ever wonder if your self definition has become too rigid and too fixed around what it is that you've come to learn? So much that you begin to contract yourself, and as you contract yourself, you contract your life. Belief systems can be something that limit us, or they, propel us into beautiful trajectories in our life, right? And there is something about having faith in this season and walking by faith, right? And not by sight. So because I'm hearing, don't be fooled by how quickly things can change and shift, right? Remember, everything is vibrating in a quantum superposition, which means that this reality is far more malleable than what we've been taught. So I'm hearing looks can be deceiving in the way where just what as it seems like your current circumstances or conditions on earth may be limiting or restricting, don't be fooled by how quickly things can shift for you. Okay, and there's something around vibrating in the essence of that shift that has already occurred, walking yourself back in a linear fashion and witnessing the events of your life unfold and in its becoming of something that has already come to be and it already is existing for you. So, we are all products of our conditioning. So, remember that that's part of the human experience. You're not here to remain static, and neither is reality, right? Reality is not static, it's a continuous summation of infinite quantum paths, which means that everything is pretty much up in the air until you decide to draw and collapse it into reality because your actions are supporting, right, that vision that you have. That's what intention is. Our intention is something that grounds us. Our intention is kinetic energy when supported with action, right? It creates this momentum, it creates this velocity. And you building momentum in a very specific trajectory in your life, even just thinking about something, even just strategizing about something, even taking the initial steps, no matter how small it seems, is something that will align you with that version of reality, right? So because you're already aligning with that version of self that has went through the journey of its becoming, right? So you go nowhere when you hesitate to move outside of your comfort zone. When you focus too much on yourself, this way you become a servant of the ego and it edges God out, right? And removing the magic of possibility. Are you allowing the soul to lead the flesh, or is the flesh governing what the soul can experience and also limiting what it is that the soul can experience when it comes to their life on earth? So imagine looking in a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self definition soften, moving beyond the veil to see your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again, who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are and allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co creation in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? And then we have skywriting the fates, right? Which is about dancing to a new music, dancing to a new tempo. 49. This is liberation from attachment, and also surrender. So this is inviting you to dance to the deepest feminine aspect in your life. And what is that? The feminine is about receiving. It's about trusting the intuition. It's about making friends with the unknown. So you've already overanalyzed your situation to exhaustion. This is about, if you can't change where you are, then change where you are. You know, that's what it feels like. Change won't happen unless you embrace it. So no matter your gender, this is about you being guided towards success and breaking the habit of being yourself or repeating the same behavior and hoping for a different outcome. That's the definition of lunacy, right? So do not assume that anything outside of you will rescue yourself. This is about, again, you stepping into a sovereign creator instead of just being a passive recipient of, or passive observer, if you will, of your reality. So that's your message. I'm going to go ahead and get one more Gateway of the Light activation card. Merkaba, right? Rising. You are rising, transcendence and ascension. This is about you ascending into turning your energy back inwards. That's how the Merkaba spins. It's a light that's falling back in on itself. Removing your attention from anything or anyone external, clearing your relationship with the matrix, clearing your relationship with, this system where we have been indoctrinated to believe that we are, you know, dimensionally limited beings when we are eternal beings. It's about you turning back into the fact that you are timeless consciousness, navigating itself temporarily through this form. Now, what do you want to experience on this earth in this lifetime? The possibilities are endless. When you begin to step away from everything that you think that you know, and you begin to almost unlearn the things that you've learned, the slate is being wiped clean in some aspect of your life, and there's something that you're rising above. The Merkaba points upwards, right, in this energy, in this trajectory, because it's turning its attention away from the material realm. It's turning its attention away from everything that is finite, everything that is fleeting, everything that is physical, and is remembering that this is a holographic energetic simulation projection in which is extremely malleable, and there's ways that we can align and integrate that invisible, intangible, in feminine aspect with the masculine, right, with the action, with the grounding, with the moving with purpose, where we can actually begin to master creation, because we've mastered our mind, we've mastered our emotions, we've become greater than the fear, right, the thoughts of fear in those octaves, and the dimensional realities in which we will be subject to if we allow that voice to govern the way that we move through this construct, or if we rise above it, if we begin to become the observer of that fear and act even in the presence of it, knowing that we are aligned with something far greater, right? So that's your energy for today. We do have a really low battery right now, so I'm trying to get a few tea leaf messages for you. Okay, so the first one we have is fair woman. That could be significant for you, someone that you could be dealing with. Pay attention to your work as well. There could be something you're having to pay attention to. Maybe there is fear or worry in a situation when it comes to your work. And then you also have you will receive a gift. So this is something that you will overcome. Okay, let's also take a look at the other side. Obstacles to overcome. Okay, so there's something that you're overcoming. I feel like this is the obstacle even within yourself, right? Where we could be getting in our own way. We also have good luck. Okay, so you are being granted. Good luck is almost like where your preparation is meeting some type of external opportunity. And we have disappointment in a friend or lover. So there could be something about you staying true to a vision, even though not everyone around you may see the things that you can see. We also have good advice from a wise person. It came out with October, so this could be a Scorpio or Libra. It doesn't have to be, but this is definitely an energy. Maybe advice that you received in October as well, you could be receiving this next upcoming year, potentially. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Otter Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AAA grade jewelry. We have some beautiful discount codes there as well as beautiful new collections where they have these spheres that we showed you. But until next time, bye.